Okay guys, so this is just a quick video on electrical symbols. So this topic is called DC electricity. So it means before we had what we call static electricity. Okay, so what DC electricity is direct current electricity. It means we have an electrical current. If there's electrical current, means that electrical charge don't just stay there not moving anymore. Rather now the electricity will start to move. Okay, all right. So we got all these different symbols over here. You will need to remember what they are. So, but you need to remember what they are. You'll be very familiar with it, and because we're going to use this so much. Okay. All right. So the key thing over here, I just want to mention is whatever you draw is like you need to draw it a straight line. Okay. All right. If it's a except a light bulb and the ammeter, you gotta have a circle. Okay. Gonna draw exactly how we draw it. So I have all the drawings over here. I've drawn them with a line. The line represents a wire. Okay, because you need to have wire to connect all these devices together. Okay, so typical one we're gonna draw, say if I'm gonna draw a simple circuit, I'm gonna go, okay, there is a battery. All right, so for the battery, it's very important for you to know that the long one is gonna be the positive side and the short one is gonna be the negative side. Okay, so this is called a cell. A cell is the basic unit of battery. A battery can have one cell, can have two cells, it could have three cells, it could have many cells. So that's why typically with this one we call it a cell. And then when we draw a battery, say we don't know how many cells inside, what we draw is we draw a cell like this, and then we draw another cell over here, and then we use some 4 dotted line to connect them together. So this one we're gonna call it a battery. Okay, and some student will draw it like this. Have a look, see why this one going to be incorrect. So the longer one we've established, the longer one is going to be the positive side, and the short one is the negative side. So this is a positive and a negative. That is a negative, that's a positive. So for battery, if you used a battery before, fuse the battery together, you know the negative side cannot be together with the negative side. That would not work. You have to put a negative side with the positive side. Okay, that's how you line battery together. For example, if you draw 2-cell battery, it's going to be 2-cell like that. If you draw 3-cell, it's going to be 3-cell like that. Okay, all right. Here, now we got this. If we put an arrow through this battery, now the arrow shows we can change something. So this is what we're gonna call a power pack, because power pack, you've used it before. You can change, you can say 2 volt, 4 volt, 6 volt, 8 volt, you can rotate it, right? So that is what this arrow means. So that's, you can change it, okay? All right, power pack, and then obviously you have resistor, you have switch, and that's pretty easy. You have switch open, switch close. A rheostat is a variable resistor. So a resistor slows down electricity. Electricity wants to go through, but a resistor can slow down electricity. Okay, and then we got fuse. A fuse breaks down and melts if the electrical current becomes too much. Okay, all right, and then we have ammeter, voltmeter, ohmmeter. Okay, so for all these ones, what are their function? I will write it in the thing as well. So then you can copy down the answer, the function. So then you know what each of the components actually do. Okay, so. All right, and then the next part we talk about is what does a multimeter? We use a multimeter to measure electrical current and to measure the voltage. Okay, so we have voltage, we use voltmeter, and current, measuring current, we use ammeter to measure the current. So to measure the current, we need to put it in series. Say if this is a circuit, we always draw a square shape. Okay, and then say there's a light bulb. And if you want to measure the current, oh, by the way, you can't put a component at the corner, okay? You always need to put it on the side here. Say I put the ammeter need to be inside this line. We call it in series, okay? But if you want to measure the voltage of this thing, the voltmeter have to go across this component like that. So now this one's going to measure the voltage, and then that one's going to measure the current going through there. Okay. All right, so how do we use a multimeter? So I think you guys have tried it in year 10, but over here I've written down the notes, and you don't have to like really remember it because if we're in class right now, like we can actually just show you how to use it, and then you can use it, and then you will see. Okay. So, but I've written down the notes over here, so you can copy it down just to be familiar with it. Like how do we actually use it? There's a positive side, negative side. Back in the days, we have separates ammeter and voltmeter. You just use it, but nowadays we just use a multimeter. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's it for this. Oh, and then I also want to quickly talk about diode. What happens with the diode is diode can only allow electricity. I'll just write a few notes here of this. It can only allow the current to go in one direction. The current can come from this way, can go through, but it cannot come from this direction. This is blocking it, okay? But from this side, it can go through. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly write the notes for you guys for all of these in Google Classroom. You can copy it down, okay? All right, that's it. So this lesson is just simple and kind of understanding of what each things are and what do they do and how to draw this symbol. Because later we're gonna be drawing electrical diagrams together. Okay. All right. Have a good day, guys.